Welcome back to the next video in this series. I'm going to pick up where I left off and I'm going to continue my instruction on Google Drawing. In today's training, I'm going to highlight these concepts: coloring the text, inserting an animated GIF, inserting an image, using the unique cropping feature not only on the animated GIF but also the image itself. And then at the close of the presentation, I'll explain to you how to download your final project in order to get credit for this learning module. Let me start by highlighting some of the characteristics that already exist in the project that we're working on. The background is in here, the hyperlink is in here, the text is in here. I won't pause to read this entire list out loud, but so far in our training, we have covered all of these features. One thing that I didn't model very well is how to change the text color, so let me do that real quick. I identified text color, but I didn't actually model it. In this portion of the video, I'm going to model what it looks like to change the color of the text. My first objective is that I need to cast a shadow on the text. If I'm only going to change the color of one word, I can simply double-click on that one word, and the shadow will appear right there. However, if my objective is to cast a shadow over more than one word, I would need to use my mouse. I would scoot over to that starting point. I would click the left mouse button down. I would slide my mouse to the end point and then lift. Once the shadow is sufficiently placed on all of the text in question, I'm then going to come up to this symbol indicating text color. I'm going to click one time on this symbol, and then from the drop-down menu, I'm going to choose a color. The next portion of this video will show you how to insert an image. To get started, I'm going to click on this button right here indicating Insert Image. By clicking on the down-facing triangle, I open up a variety of different strategies. Mary Poppins has nothing to do with giraffes, but giraffes is the theme that I'm going to choose in order to model how to bring in images. After I choose the down-facing triangle, I'm going to choose Search the Web. Right here in this space where you see the magnifying glass, I'm going to type giraffe singular or giraffes plural, and then I'm going to press enter on the keyboard. When I do that, Google Drawing will search the web for any images that are inside that specific query. I can use the gray bar on the right-hand side to scoot up or down to find more images. For the sake of time, I'm going to click right here on this image. Next, I'm going to head down to the bottom right where it says Insert, so I can insert this image into my project. Now I'm going to head up to the Utility toolbar, and I'm going to select the down-facing triangle next to the Crop button. Now, I can use crop in order to trim a little bit off the top, a little bit off the bottom, a little bit off the sides, but instead of just trimming a little bit of the perimeter, I'm actually going to overhaul the whole crop idea by choosing a unique cropping strategy. In order to use those unique cropping tool features, I first need to make sure that I've clicked on the image, because when I click away from the image, all of those toolbar features disappear. So let me click one time on the actual image. Let me scoot up to that down-facing triangle. I'm going to click one time, and we have 4 sub-menus to choose from. And you basically have the ability to choose anything that you see in here. And don't be concerned if you choose a shape and you realize, oh wow, that is not what I was trying to achieve. You can quickly scoot over to the far left and choose the undo button in order to return to your original shape. It may take 6 or 7 crops for you to say, you know what, I think that crop strategy is the perfect one for me. As you have a chance to experiment with each of these different shapes, go ahead and choose the one that works best for you. Again, you can always choose the undo button if you're dissatisfied with it. Let me mention one thing. If you want a circle, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose the one that most looks like a circle. It looks much more like an oval than it does a circle. So if you're dissatisfied that it's an oval and your objective really was a circle, what you need to do is you need to take the shape into something that is most square-like so that the arches of the circle are even. Let me scoot back to shapes Let me choose the very first one. If I choose crop, and then I kind of nudge in the left and the right until it looks kind of like a square, to the best of my ability, if I can turn it into a square, I'm going to scoot in left and right. That might be somewhat close. I think that's pretty decent enough. And then I'm going to scoot over here into the empty space and click one time to let the computer know, thanks so much, I'm done cropping, I don't need it anymore. And now I'm going to scoot back up here, and this time I'm going to choose what looks like a circle. And now it is far more like a circle and far less like an oval. For some reason, in order to achieve a circle, you have to have a square in order to round those corners very well to make it look most like a circle. The next strategy I'm going to model is to bring in an animated GIF. There is an ongoing debate as to whether or not this is pronounced GIF or GIF. Some people feel the need to correct me because it is a graphics interchange format. It should have a hard G sound instead of the J sound. I'm not quite particular. Doesn't matter to me if it's a GIF or a GIF. So you pronounce it the way that you want to, but I historically tend to call it a GIF, so for the rest of this video, I'm going to call it a GIF. So I'm going to come up here to the plus symbol. I'm going to click the plus symbol, so I've generated a brand new tab. I'm going to choose giraffe. If you know me at all, this is always my go-to strategy. I always choose giraffes. And then GIF, okay? GIF, not GIFT. We don't want it to autocorrect to a gift. I'm going to choose enter on my keyboard one time. And in order to make sure that these are animated and they're actually moving, I'm going to come over here to where it says images. And I'm going to click one time where it says images. Wow, none of these are moving. Trust me, some of these will start moving. In order to verify that it actually moves, I'm going to click one time on one of them. On the right hand side, it might need to buffer for a few seconds, and then you can see how it is genuinely moving. You can click on a different one, allow it to buffer, and see if that changes. I'm going to head back to this one. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come on top of this image. I'm going to click, going to hold my mouse button down. I'm going to leave it down. I'm going to slide. Okay, you'll notice how there's like, I don't want to use the word silhouette, sort of a see-through version of this item here. I'm going to come up, up, up. Tab number 2 is the destination where I want it to go. So I need to make sure that my mouse hovers on top of tab marker 2. I'm going to slide into the actual image, and then I'm going to let go. And when I let go, that GIF populates in this spot. Using those similar strategies that I've used before, I can increase that size if I need to. You have to be careful if you start with a poor quality image. When you increase the size, the quality will go sour the larger that you go. The unique crop strategy that we used earlier on the image can also be applied to the animated GIF. Let me model that now. We will use the same button in the toolbar to locate the unique crop feature. You still have the same assortment available to you. As with any cropping strategy, do note that some characteristics of the image that may be important to you could be cut off. So be sure to select a crop that meets your needs and does not omit key parts of the image or GIF. When you download as a PDF, obviously the animated features will disappear and nobody will be able to see that it is animated. But if your students do a project and they put an animated GIF in there, you'll be able to see it. And if you share something with your students in Google Classroom, they will be able to see it. So no, it won't be animated in a PDF. Let me click one time in order to make this disappear. And then let me bring in a second text box just to reveal that you do have the capacity to have more than one text box. So if I need to bring in information from the text to support my original idea up at the top, this is where I could have the students apply a couple sentences. When the children were sad, You can have multiple images, you can have multiple text boxes, and you can organize those as you see fit. You also have the ability to set up a skeletal assignment for the students. So if you're working with third graders, you can easily replace this with text here, identifying that your students are supposed to come in and change that text. You've already had it formatted to the right size. Likewise, you can put the words text here as well, identifying that your students are supposed to start with something like this and then make modifications. If you want to save them some time, you can come in with a skeletal project where they're supposed to go in and make some of those adjustments. I will not go through and explain all of the items located up here. I recommend that you experiment and then you try those out. Likewise, with many Google items, there is an add comment feature over here. If you wish to supply comments to student work as they are progressing through this assignment, you can add that information in there and then provide that comment. The students can see those comments and then dismiss them once they've had a chance to apply that information to their project. The next portion of this video is only for teachers who are submitting information to Thinkific. This particular practice is not something I would use with my students in a traditional classroom. The objective of this portion of the video is just to help you complete the final task of the Thinkific module. In order for you to turn your project in, please use the file button located over here. Choose download, and then my recommendation is that a PDF would be perfect. There are several file types to choose from. If you are unfamiliar with each of the file types, feel free to simply choose the very first one, which is a PDF. Please include your name on that file so that it's easy for us to ensure that the right person gets the right credit for completing this task. Remember to upload your final project in order to earn credit for this module. Thank you so much for participating in this module and for watching today's video. Have a great day.